Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the AMG Collectibles podcast on what is effectively a Victory Tuesday. Steve would know this from family members who may also appreciate it. The Packers win, live another week. More bonus football. We appreciate that. That's a good thing. So first, let me go around the horn here. We'll start off. Blair, how are you today?
I am super. Had a wonderful commute in. A little bit of late snow falling, so I was behind the creepy crawlies.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Sherry, how are you today?
I'm doing just great. It's going to be a wonderful Tuesday.
There you go. Look at, I love the positivity. Steve, collector of the people, soon to be remonikered today. How are you today?
I am wonderful. It's
Wow.
Tuesday.
Wasn't sure where he was going with it, but
It radiates off of you, Steve. It radiates off of you. All right, we're going to talk about a couple of little things. We've got a couple of little fun stories that, including one of the ones that I'm alluding to with rechristening Steve for the episode. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a minute. So we're going to respond to a couple of the comments here, and I'm going to start off with that, responding to a couple of comments on the last video. So thank you all for the great feedback, and also we appreciate some of our new subscribers. So thank you to that. Let's keep working towards. I want to get to 250. That's kind of the next little milestone we're going to shoot for. But the last episode did actually quite well, and we were able to get some nice responses to it, which is always great. So let me read a couple of them to you. And again, in the same vein of what I've talked about before, if you do have some thoughts and comments or questions, feel free to throw them in there. I will kind of follow up. I try to scan it a little bit here and there, but I'll also forward any questions you might have to the team if it's something directly related to the happenings in the store, and we'll try to help you out there. So I'll read a few. So first comment here, I'm going to apologize. I'll try to read the nicknames as best I can, but YouTube's way of doing it is a little funky now. So Blag the Mentor. That's what I'll go with here. That's what it says. So it says, great show as always. Appreciate that. I know it could be way off here, but I feel like we're in the middle of an imperfect storm of the hockey hobby front that began with COVID. Upper Deck has been throttling dealers and customers. Again, I'm reading the comments, so just be aware. We're in the comment. Consumers will one product after another in the spirit of playing catch up, and that's one thing we kind of touched on a little bit, and it's adversely impacted several releases. You can't build product hype when you have 3 or 4 releases in a 2-month span, which happened more than one occasion. Flagship QC issues have also been a bigger issue in recent years, particularly where young guns are concerned. Add in the Bedard Mania inflation that is going to hit virtually every marquee product he's in, and things are not great overall. So that's kind of one comment touching on the topic. I thought it was a worthy topic to discuss, and it wasn't an easy topic. That was kind of the key to it. And also I mentioned to the team that I've been listening, and out there in the podcast world, there's some other shops that are expressing some grumblings of the same kind of. So we're hitting on a nerve that I felt was going to be a little bit of a wave. Don't be surprised if there's a little pushback on Upper Deck and some of the manufacturers to be like, "Hey, help us out here." The job is to sell the product, but at the end of the day, you want the customer to feel good, and that's kind of the theme that we try to give. If they feel good, everybody feels good, and it's a much better ecosystem for all people involved. Second one here. Great stuff. One thing you didn't touch, so this is Fandy100 here in the comment section. One thing you didn't touch regarding wax is that distributors, manufacturers hold back product and make it available a week after release at market price. So that's kind of talking the distribution side, and that's something that's been a grumbling in a lot of cases. So we touched on it sort of kind of peripherally, and I've definitely touched on it in other menus, but it's something you can only speculate on because the distributor is never going to admit to doing that. But it is, let's put it this way, it is a word that I've heard from many places, not more than once. I'll just put it that way. Which we have to mark up again for our customers. So even if it is a hot product, we barely get the opportunity to make any money off of it for all the product. Basically, have to sell at cost. The whole seal wax ecosystem is being propped up by breakers, which is something that's been thrown out there a bit. And don't get me started on Upper Deck's internet sales policy, not being able to discuss price, which we touched on briefly, and also some of the other venues I've talked about also touched on it. So it's not 1 or 2 people. It's been a grumbling. So thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. And here's a good one just to finish up, a nice positive one. Powerpuff Girls for life. There you go. So came into the store today with my 4-year-old daughter. She had her first gaming experience in the old arcade system and loved the store. I've always loved the store and will definitely be bringing her in more often. Thanks again. So thank you for the comment. So some good comments there. Thank you all for providing them. And again, feel free to throw in the stuff in the comment section. We do try to check them out where we can, respond where we can. And in cases like this, we can highlight a few here and there where possible. Okay. So we've got that going in here. No particular new products to talk about. There are a few in there, but limited quantities. Do check in the store if you are curious about anything upcoming. So that's kind of the best way. Or reach out on one of the social medias through communication. That's a good way of doing it. So with that said, let's get started. We'll have a little fun now. We're going to have a couple of little story time. So Blair, this first one is for you. We're going to start off with that one. So I'll share the picture, and then you can give me a little background on this one. So I've got some letter marks that spell out the word Moosehead. Tell me. Oh, and you can see a little spoiler over on the side. We'll get to that in a second, but let's start off with the Moosehead. Tell me more about it.
That's funnier than mine. But so this one came about. Just a local collector reached out just on social media, on our site. Anyway, he was looking for one of these cards to kind of complete a project. So I was like, no, we're not going to, have the letter O, kind of thing. So anyway, I was going to bring it up with Steve when we came in, but Steve had picked up on it and went to his little cache of cards he's got in his office and kind of pulled it out. So we reached out, and the guy came in. We just did it. It wasn't an expensive card, but we wanted to kind of help him out and complete this. So the gist of it is, obviously, for anybody not local, Moosehead refers to the Halifax Mooseheads, the local Quebec junior major team here. And the really cool thing, so they're the draft day auto signature cards and varying different numbers, but each card is of a different Halifax Moosehead former player. Nice. So I have the lister, which is kind of cool, and they're all different numbers. Like the first one is Brad Marchand, then it goes Drouin. Barron was the one that we helped him get, the second O, and then Nikolai Ehlers is there. Sorry, I skipped the S. And then Nico Heischer, Timo Meyer. There's a Fukali there, and then Zadina, I think, was the other one. So they're all autographed, all different numbers. I think the Marchand was out of 10, which probably would have been one of the tougher ones. But yeah, so it's just a really cool project from a local collector for a local team, and we were happy to help them out.
Very nice, very nice, excellent.
Yep.
Now, not to be outdone, but now we have a follow up on last week's episode, and what you can tell, you can tell from the unbridled joy, the rapture here, and also if you pay attention on the screen, you'll see that the name is now the collector of the Scallops. So Steve, so before I get to the rest of it, so start off, explain, and then I'll go to the second picture while you're explaining.
Sure. So we had a serious Boston Bruins collector that a couple of weeks ago we helped him secure a PSA 10 Patrice Bergeron, and just in passing he said he also needed the Pasternak and the Marchand, and I was talking to another fellow collector that comes into the store all the time, and with his help he was able to get in touch with a guy that had a Marchand and Pasternak. Of course, he wanted close to comps on the cards, so it was just more important for us to help this collector, retrieve these two cards. So I was able to finagle a deal with him. If he bought these two cards, all I requested in return was a couple pounds of scallops, because he's a fisherman. So he quickly agreed to that, and Saturday I was rewarded with a couple pounds of scallops, and he was happy as can be getting the cards for his collection.
There you go. I must say, probably one of the more unique kind of deals that I've heard worked out. But when you referenced it last week, before we continue, I'm gonna come back here just for a moment before I continue through the rest of it. Yeah, one of the more unique deals. And then when you sent me the picture, my first reaction was a combination of amusement and semi face pop. A little bit, I was like, "Yep, that is what he said. That is in fact what the man said." So, I'll give it to you, Steve. It's like you did deliver, and today you are truly the collector of the Scallops.
I expect some recipes in the comments.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Well, I bet you didn't have that one on the bingo card, and if you did, I'm very impressed. But we'll move on here. But thank you, Steve. We'll get back to a little more conventional fare now for the next couple. I'm afraid not as exciting as a trade deal involving scallops, but we'll do our best. So the next couple of ones are going to be ice cards. So I'm going to go through here, look up an image of a few. We sorted out some stuff that came in the store, so we'll focus on that a little bit here. Okay, so we'll start off here, and what I'm seeing here is a couple of cool cuts, some nice die cut looking cards, Yager, and is that Woa Cates or Noah Cates?
Noah Cates, I think. Yeah,
that actually looks almost like a W. I almost prefer Woa.
Yeah.
Cates. Whoa, but yes, but nice looking cards. I do like the design on these ones.
Yeah.
So we've got those ones to start off with, and then if you like your shiny here, we've got a couple of these here. So I don't know, is this a variation on the rookies? Obviously, it's we basically have memorabilia cards here. So
I think I was going through some of the ice stuff just to see. There was some mention of like a white snowflake, but it was to do with autos. So I don't know if they're carrying, because it looks like a similar pattern. So I don't know if they're continuing it into the kind of rookie jersey thing. But yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So we've got
Yeah.
Jack Quinn here as a rookie and Pavel Buchnevich.
I'm not going to try and pronounce that one again this week.
Yep. All right. So we got 3 of these. These ones I'm familiar with. These are like the crystals.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice looking cards though, and I will say these ones play well with the light. Like there's some of the, it's one of those things where it's a little catch-22. A lot of the products we talk about, like I said, we can critique some of the products, but I will say some of the stuff like this in execution looks nice. All the die cut thing is a little bit tricky. Condition wise, if you're looking for high grade, chipping, denting, things like that is a little tricky with this much die cut. But it does look really cool when it's really well executed. So they are pretty looking cards, and if you can play with the light on them a little bit, they're kind of fun. So let me click on this one here. So we got a rookie from Exquisite. So Owen Power looks like number 49. So that's a nice looking card.
Yep.
We got a couple more ice premieres here. We've got Ken Johnson. We've got Linus Hogberg and Eichel. Sorry, Reichel.
And the different variations on those, the different tiers. And the top one, I think, is, I think they're calling that one the retro acetate premiere or something from what I saw. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
We got a couple more here. We got the Sub-Zeros with Patrick Kane and Johnny Gaudreau. Very nice. Some more ice cards. That's pretty good. And then we've got a baseball card thrown in here. 2023 Finest, Corbin Carroll, the green speckle variant in a Gem Mint 10. And this one's numbered to 125. So that's another one on there. And also PSA 10, we have the 2016 O-Pee-Chee Platinum William Nylander, the Ice Blues Tracks. Now, one thing that a lot of folks, if you're not familiar with the O-Pee-Chee Platinum, beautiful looking cards. What I do like on a lot of the series, I think years ago, I want to say in 2016, they might have started by then. I don't remember if it's exactly by then, but they do label the different parallels on the back. And that's something that Upper Deck started doing a couple of years back, which I approve of. I want to see more of that in some of these. Don't make me guess what the parallel is. If you know what the parallel is, put it on the back so I can see exactly what it is. And then, especially when you got a ton of parallels. O-Pee-Chee Platinum has a ton of them. So just tell me what they are. Tell me what it is. So that's a good feature with this one. So O-Pee-Chee Platinum 2014. So I think this predates that, but this one's the normal one. This is the Vasilevsky, and that is also in a Gem Mint 10. So we've got that. And if you need any of your cards graded, you can check out the PSA Canada Submission Center inside the store. All right, a couple more here. We've got 2011 Upper Deck Landeskog, Young Guns. We've got that also in a Gem Mint 10. Keeping the rookies going, we've got Sorokin, a 2020 SP Authentic. We've got the Future Watch Autograph in a 10. Now, one thing I'll keep an eye out with a lot of these, this one's not a bad one, but you got to keep an eye out on the autograph. Sometimes with the little thin pen, it gets a little streaky. That C is a little bit light, but I've definitely seen worse. So it's one of those ones where it's grading the card, not the autograph, but that's something you got to keep an eye out on. If you're a fan and a collector, even in a 10, try to get the boldest autograph you can. A lot of collectors really are picky about that. If it's a little streaky, they don't like it quite as much. Just something to keep an eye out on if you're collecting these things. And this last one here, I don't know what this is. So we got a Boom Boom Jeffrey on. What is it?
So this is definitely the hobby has changed a little bit. 10, 15 years ago, this would have been sought after by a lot of old-time collectors. But in 1962, Cowan Tiles actually made tiles of hockey players. So you can imagine back in the 60s, decorating your kitchen tiles, I'm sure with your wife's approval, doing your kitchen up with famous hockey players on them. So they're quite hard to find. And of course, they're 60 plus years old now. So this is actually came in the store yesterday. And they're beautiful, very fragile. So to find one without any chips on it is unique. And then just to touch on all those graded cards previous, those are part of, we got approximately 50 slabs back from PSA yesterday. So that's just an example what will be in our showcase today. So you want to check those out. But yeah, the Cowan tiles and there's some really short printed ones too, usually of no name guys. Cause you would request the Richard or the Jeffrey on or the Howe, but no one would request Phil Goyette or someone like that. So it's the obscure guys that, tend to be a little more difficult to find.
Nice. All
Just
right.
a note on that. I have two. One is a Bellevue because I just was a Bellevue collector, but the other one there is an actually that goes back to my hoarding of my Newfoundland collector, but Alex Faulkner. So I have an actual copy of that, which I've only seen two, and one was broken in 6 pieces. So, but yeah, Steve's right. There's some really, really, really short printed ones of those that are tough to find, but they're beautiful. The color, and they do have the full cork, like a tile on the back, and then they have the little tab. So to find them in that shape with the tab still on them, and obviously not in somebody's kitchen, it's sought after.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. So let's touch on here one other thing that I want to mention as well. We had already talked about in the last episode, we talked about the break of the cup case that was done on the channel. And we also mentioned that was going to be put up on the eBay store. So I'm going to quickly scroll through it just so you can see for yourselves, and also remind you that if you are curious, by the time this episode comes out, it is still going to go on through Thursday. So there's still a couple of days left on these eBay auctions. So you have a chance if you want to take a stab at any of these. And then we'll be able to report back later on kind of what the results are of the overall. But you can see here at the AMG Collectibles eBay store, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. And you can see there, so I've already put it into the auctions. So it'll show you a couple of things outside of it, but a lot of these are the cup cards. If you look at the auction ones, a lot of them are. So you've got the various singles that are available here, and they all start off at auction. And then a few of these already have some bids on them. So right now you're checking it out in Canadian dollars. You got the Henrik Sedin there that was part of it, the Emblem of Endorsements, which I think are really nice cards. You got the Rob Ray, possibly the SP Signature Legend I might have referenced. So just letting you know, that might have been one that I referenced in there. Ryan Suter. You got the Exquisite here, the Michael Bunting. And then scrolling through, you're going to find the Trevor Linden Glory Shield. So that was one of the kind of neat looking cards. And then the following that is the jersey tag. So the quad jersey tag from St. Louis Blues, which was a cool looking card. And that one is out of 2. So that's a tougher one. And then you do have a tag rookie autograph. So basically your RPA, but with a tag on it. So a little bit lower numbered one. Our 2 Parker Kellys that came in that one. So that was a fun one, part of the same break. A couple of the other RPAs included in here. This here, Joe Valino rookie card out of 24, so the gold variant, and then some of the other ones to fill out the rest. Some of the patches, and here's the Cole Caulfield, which is probably the nicest card of the bunch. And I'm a fan of the Keith Chuck as well, personally, just because of the paint pen on it. But you can see the full complement. If you watch the break, you'll notice that's every card that was included in that case. So all 36 cards are available there on the eBay store if you want to check it out. Bid early, bid often.
We have a ways to go.
I think Steve should put a bag of scallops up there with it.
Yeah.
If you throw in the scallops,
it might have been close to the cards.
That might put it over the top. Sounds good. So we'll make reference to it again next week. One reminder that towards the end of the month, the trade night will still be happening in the store. So just a reminder of that. We will mention it again next week, just to give you another reminder, but it is always the last Friday of the month. So that's something important that we want to add. So really quickly, we'll touch on 1 or 2 other things, but this will be kind of a truncated episode, mostly because, like I said, not a lot of new product to talk about. But is there anything else store-wise in terms of things upcoming that you want to touch on? Anybody on the team?
Just, come in and get ice. It just came out last week. It's selling well. The new slabs that came into the store, and right now, actually, we've got a fantastic selection of inventory. Sometimes we've got a lot. Sometimes we, supplies low. But right now, we're in a good spot. So there's a little bit of something for everyone.
And I did pick up a few items, some pre-2016 Pokemon cards that will be getting priced and going into our discount boxes. So there'll be some fun ones for people to find in there.
Those have been selling well, actually. We took in, we were getting a little late before the restock, and kind of a few collections came in through the door, so we were able to pick those up. But those have been selling well. We're probably had 2 boxes to start, or 2.5, or a box and a half, and we're definitely probably around a box now. So yeah, and the other thing, I posted a little thing yesterday about we've been doing a $10 a card showcase, mostly hockey, because that's mostly what we get. But we do throw in a few. I had a few comments. People are, when are we going to do it for a different sport? But hockey's our main thing. But we will have other things in there. But that's been selling real well. So myself and Steve, and I don't know if Sherry's been at any of that or not. She's been pricing some stuff, but we're refilling that daily, kind of adding to it. So that's been a great. So there's some great cards in there, some great buys, and so come check that out as well too.
Nice. Now, question. I'll follow up here. So, Steve or Blair, you can any of you can tell me. Just curious. So we had the cards that we featured last week. Is the Josh Allen still in the store? Has that one moved on, or is that one still available?
Steve?
Interesting story on the Josh Allen. So
Tell me.
The gentleman I bought that from
Gave you scallops? Go on.
No, yes. No, he gave me some prime rib. He came in the next day, and at first I was like, oh, did he have buyer's remorse or seller's remorse, that sort of thing. He had 3 or 4 Josh Allens, which I got 3 of them, and so we'll say he had 4. He came back and said, he kind of regretted selling that Josh Allen, but he asked if we'd be interested in selling it back to him at comps and he was going to allow us to sell another one of his Josh Allen cards, which is a 1/1 Josh Allen rookie auto. So it took me about a fraction of a second to say absolutely. So we didn't do anything yet, but because it's a big decision for him. So I'm kind of holding on to the Josh Allen that we got from him until he makes a decision on his 1/1 Josh Allen. But I did kind of hint to him, now's the time to sell it, especially after, last night's, 54-yard scamper into the end zone. So, yes, stay tuned on that. It's one of those cards, that it's good to have in our eBay store because it would bring traffic, when that card pops up, then people would see what else we have. So we are always doing that with big cards with customers because sometimes it's hard to put a price on a 1/1 or a low pop card. So, we're willing to negotiate on bigger cards with people to help sell it for them. And at the same time, it will bring traffic to whether it's our eBay site or our store. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully he'll let that 1/1 Josh Allen go.
Okay, sounds good. Now, actually, this leads me. So, like I said, it'll be a little bit of a truncated episode today, but at the same time, actually, your story also led me down a thought here, really quickly that we can wind down on. So, first one is that'd be actually really good. So, if you do end up getting that'd be really good follow up, and then definitely we'd like to see a picture of that. A 1/1 rookie Josh Allen would be pretty sweet to definitely get an image on to check out a little bit more. But let me ask you a question then. So, let's say it plays out, and you're able to do that. 1/1s don't have comps. And this is one of my favorite little side pieces that we do. So you're thinking about it from the store perspective. Let's say you're able to make that happen. Great. You get the card. That's fantastic. We share it on here. We bask in the glory of it. Then you become a collector of the Allens. You move on. Your moniker changes. But how do we what kind of price? How do we put a price on something like that? So a 1/1 doesn't really have comps. How do we come up with a number that's at least a starting point for discussion?
Well, there's 2 options, which, again, we discussed with him. One way to do it is, depending on what you have into the card, starting it off just like we are with the cup, just starting it off at a low number and let the market dictate the price. But I think he will more than likely want to go with option 2, where, you can find comps on maybe comparable players, or you just put a number that kind of makes them happy. If it'll probably be a high number, but at the same time we'll listen to offers. And if you start getting 5 or 6 offers right around the same ballpark, then that's probably what the number is. I think he wants to obviously get as much as he can for his card. I don't blame him. So I kind of threw a couple numbers out at him, and when he popped his eyes back in his head, he said, let me think on that for a few days. very nice gentleman. So I'm hoping we're able to help him, take care of the sale of that card.
No, that's fair. So what I got from that is that it basically almost be like a consignment kind of thing. That's kind of the arrangement that they would do.
Yes, because I don't want to I don't want to shortchange him, and I don't want to pay too much. So we just kind of come up with a happy medium. And on a big card like that, almost like with the Scallops, it's not about us making money. It's about making the customer happy. So
it's about you being really hungry when you make that deal.
Yes, exactly. So, as long as our fees are taken care of, and we're hoping that the spin off of that is, some traffic to whether it's our eBay site or to the store, when they see us, with a big card, people want to see what else we have.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. So initially, so you took it in a little different direction than what I was thinking of, but that's actually really good to know. So I appreciate that. What I was actually thinking about, what I was inquiring about there. Okay, so let's say you had acquired the card. So the store has the card. So whatever arrangement has been done with the seller is already done. You are trying to figure it out. Because I've seen different approaches to it. One is, to your point, you could take it to the market and just try it. But when you've got a one of one, to your point, there isn't really, you can try to look at something similar. You try to break it down, but you throw a number in there, even if we'll take offers off of it. My question was kind of, how do you come up with that number, the initial? So like 5,000, 50,000, 5 million. Where do you come up with the number that then the offers can come off of that? That's what
we've said that to people, in Toronto or, here locally, people walk in with a one of one and, I've got this card and we kind of look at it and we know where it's going. Like, how do you attach a number to it when, it's a 101. But like Steve said,
this was the one where you're putting the price tag on it. It's already in your possession.
Yes.
You're not worried about negotiating with that person. You're looking at the potential buyer, and you don't want to scare them with a number that's too high.
That's right.
But at the same time, you want them to offer. So basically, you want to put a number that makes it clear that, we'll hear you out. We'd like to hear what you have to say. So you can't be ridiculous. But at the same time, you don't want to shortchange yourself, because if they come in and say, yeah, absolutely, here you go, take my money, then you might have made it a little bit low. So where you're looking for that balance.
Yeah.
And I mean, Josh Allen's a big card. So we'd have to sit down as a group probably and discuss that a little bit. It's not like your random one of one card. This is a bit of a big deal, I think, if we were able to get someone like him. But
and it's hard, like, even if you go to look at other Josh Allen 1-1s, there's such disparity in the market, who could have been a guy that can't live without a Josh Allen 1-1 and overpaid on that card. And so it's a real difficult thing to put a number on those cards, but you just got to be safe, Yeah.
Or you could bring food and sweeten the deal, and then all of a sudden the numbers change rapidly.
Yeah.
Could be a thing. I've seen it work before.
Yeah.
Earlier in this episode.
I'm going to bring in spicy tacos to my next deal, I think.
You think that would work out for you? All right. Seems fair.
Oh my goodness.
Sherry, do you have like a buy list of foodstuffs that you can bring in when somebody wants to discount?
I don't know. I might have to do something. We might have to have a staff meeting here. These maritime deals are getting out of hand.
Well, on that bombshell, I think we'll call it an episode. So I want to thank everybody for participating. Blair, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Sherry, thank you for participating as always, and we appreciate your patience with wherever this went, because you never know fully when we're getting into it.
I was just here for your guys' show today. Support.
She works with us.
We appreciate your support. We appreciate your support either way. Your support is greatly appreciated. And Steve, collector of the Scallops, you have anything else to say for yourself before we call it an evening?
Just looking forward to eating them tonight. I think there's
nice.
Try to get all 2 pounds in me, but we'll see. But throw in some quick recipes there so I can make 4 or 5 dishes with them.
Fantastic. Perfect. So, folks, appreciate you. You can check out, like I said, on the YouTube channel, you can check these out. If you want to leave a comment or a question in there, as you saw, we're able to feature some here and there where we can. And also, if it is a little more pressing, though, I do strongly recommend, and I'll put it here right at the tail end as I finish up, I do strongly recommend that you utilize some of the communication methods. You got the Instagram, you got the website, amgcollectibles.ca, so you can check out any of those things. So like I said, if it's more pressing and you really do want a quicker response, do check out some of the social medias. A lot of that is also included in the description of the videos. So that's another thing you can include. And if you're on the YouTube especially, we'd appreciate if you hit the like button. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We want to get up to that next level and start working our way up. But yes, we do appreciate your support and also you checking out the episodes. And if for some reason you're on the road, whatever, in a lot of cases, we also have the audio version, which will be available to you in your podcast app of choice. So you've got a lot of those, and you can listen to the dulcet tones of Steve describing the new scallop deals that are coming in. That's very exciting.
Nice.
So that'll be it for us. We thank you, and we'll catch you again in the next episode.